These are the most epic fights on Family Guy, starting with the time Peter went to war with the owner of a dry cleaner, which drew inspiration from old school arcade fighting games in Tiegs For Two. So Lois appoints Peter with the honor duty of running to pick up the dry cleaning.
Alright, well, I need my other white shirt back anyway. This one's getting kinda smelly. And if I wore another color, I think it would just throw people.
I'm sure the animators also thank you kindly for not giving them more work than they already have to do. So now it's just a matter of figuring out which dry cleaners he's meant to go to.
Oh, damn, which one's a Chinese one?
Well, whether that second one is Chinese or not, there are enough American buzzwords in that name to activate Peter like a Russian sleeper agent. And if that wasn't cool enough, they also have one of those door sensors that make you wish you were deaf.
You stop make bing bong. Every bing bong 2 cents.
Geez, inflation has really hit the bing bong market. So Peter tries to get his clothes, but something's missing.
I think you forgot my shirt.
There's no shirt.
Well, no, I know you have my white shirt. Can you check again?
How dare Peter insult this guy's business? Or act like his white shirt is that recognizable.
I know have your shirt.
You yes have my shirt.
You get out my store.
You give me shirt.
You might think this accent sounds a bit stereotypical, but the voice actor is actually Asian. Does that make it better? Worse? I don't get paid the big pearls to think about that.
You no come back ever. I know like you American.
But Lois has apparently made too many fond memories of this dry cleaners to try and find a new one.
I have been going to Mr. Washy Washy for 10 years, and I am not finding another dry cleaner.
Wait, Mr. Washy Washy is his actual name? Was he just born to own a dry cleaners, or did he change his name to better match his profession? So Lois invites him over for dinner to make peace, but Peter isn't ready to give up the fight yet.
I'm sorry I was rude at your store.
It's okay. I accept your bad apology.
Good. Now give me back my shirt.
Well, now the whole family's banned. Yes, even Stewie. This is sure to ruin his wardrobe.
Are you just trying to piss me off, or is that really how you say that?
So Peter decides to locate Washy Washy's house to try and find his missing shirt.
He's got my shirt in there. I can feel it. All right, I'm going inside.
There's no way a plain white button-up is worth the cost of breaking and entering. But I guess he can't experiment with other colors, especially green. That belongs to Retep.
I knew it.
Drop it or I blow your head off.
There's no way a plain white button-up is worth the cost of murder either. But Peter's dead set on believing Mr. Washy Washy really wants his favorite shirt.
That know your shirt.
Oh, yeah? Okay, it's not my shirt.
Though I must say, the crop top look on Peter is really... Nah, who am I kidding? He can't pull it off.
How do you propose we settle this?
We have fight, but I pick venue.
Deal.
And what better place to duke it out than E Honda's favorite bathhouse, Kapukan Yu, which means we get treated to an old school Street Fighter showdown. If you're old enough to remember those old Mugen games, you'll know seeing Peter in this kind of setup is a dream come true.
You lose!
Well, I don't have any quarters, so it looks like this fight is over. And we don't even get to find out what happened to Peter's missing shirt. This will go down in history as one of the greatest unsolved mysteries, next to Amelia Earhart and Carol's missing baby. But it's no mystery that Lois is a badass, evident by the time she became a celebrated boxer and managed to defeat the most dangerous fighter in Quahog in Baby You Knock Me Out. So it's Peter's birthday, and Quagmire got him a little something.
Tickets to Foxy Boxing?
Yes, this cool thing where girls in bikinis box each other.
Dang, maybe one day I'll finally get to see an all-Fox boxing league. I'm itching to see that Tails guy get smacked down. So the gang checks it out and discovers that they actually allow the audience to get in on the action.
We've reached that part of the evening when our house champion takes on all challengers. Any of you lovely ladies like to try your hand in the ring?
Of course, Peter volunteers Lois. He either likes to see his wife get beat up or beat people up, and I don't think either of those options is particularly healthy.
All right. If it'll shut you all up, I'll do it.
The only thing worse is Lois trying to box in slacks like a maniac. That's Chafe City right there. But after a few jabs to the face, Lois gets the fire lit underneath her.
Okay, you little bitch. That's it. You wanna with me? Let's go.
I guess all those years shadowboxing Peter in her mind is paid off because she decimates that poor girl.
She's a natural. You know, she could make some serious money as a professional.
Finally, a way for Lois to make some money with her body that doesn't make Peter life-endingly jealous. So Peter schedules her for another fight against her wishes.
That was a one-time thing, all right? I am not a boxer, and I'm not fighting anyone else.
Spoken like someone who is about to become a boxer and will be fighting someone else. Honestly, I would have had more doubt if she had just said okay.
Oh gosh, I can't wait to see this fancy restaurant.
Oh, you're gonna love it, Lois.
Just tell her it's one of those places where the waiters are allowed to punch you in the face.
There's been a terrible mistake. My idiot husband here booked this match without my knowledge.
Well, she could just lay down and give up, but imagining Peter's face on her opponent is just cathartic enough to inspire her.
Oh, what's your matter? Mad at little old me?
Nah, she just thinks you'd look better with fewer teeth and your nose caved in. So Lois goes on a tear through the circuit, becoming the top boxer in Quahog. Just not without some battle scars.
Well, it's broken all right.
Oh, you gotta fix it, Doc. There's a big fight coming up. She's gotta defend her title.
I'm honestly surprised she made it this far with that shark fin nose. It's like a 5-inch target square on her face.
I think this is a sign that maybe it's time to hang up the gloves.
But with all this pent-up anger, mostly because of Peter, she might have to find a new outlet for her rage.
The reason you fight so good is...
Yeah, 'cause I'm making believe I'm fighting you.
And that's gotta hurt more than any right hook Lois can dish out. So to commemorate Lois's achievements and retirement, the town erects a statue in her honor, but not everyone is happy about that.
I know why you're retiring, Griffin. You're scared.
Scared? Of what?
Of me.
I'd be scared too, she has fists for earrings. No one could pull those off unless they've killed people with their hands before. Lois turns down the fight with Deirdre, but she's got ways of making Lois agree.
Look at me, Griffin. I'm milking me a cow. Move for me.
Moo!
But nobody milks Lois's man without the proper permits from the Department of Agriculture, so Lois agrees to the fight.
You think you're tough? Well, let's see what you got.
If someone immediately blocked my punch like that, I'd probably retire right there on the spot. And for 6 rounds, Deirdre more or less cleans the house. So by the time the 6th round starts, things are not looking good for Lois. But Lois isn't giving up. She's got the heart of a lion, the determination of a cheetah, and possibly the brain of a tranquilized gorilla after all those blows to the head.
You get up, you die.
I've had enough of you!
And as Eye of the Tiger begins to swell, Lois finds the strength to push through the pain.
You're going down, Griffin.
Not tonight, I'm not!
She actually has going down penciled in for tomorrow. But with a jab and uppercut combo, Lois lays Deirdre out and keeps her undefeated streak intact.
Lois, you did it! I love you so much!
Well, I guess marital disputes aren't all bad. Sometimes they can lead you to boxing glory. Or prison. Doesn't really sound like a die worth rolling. But Peter was willing to fight for his right to be in the church choir, leading him to training with Jesus to take on a group of mean altar boys and misdirect. So Lois gets absolutely shredded from using an exercise bike and suggests that Peter give it a try as well, though he isn't sold.
Name one cool person who rides a bike.
Kermit the Frog.
Okay, skinny legs, here I come.
Hey, game recognized game. Just look at him go. How's he doing that? This is blowing my freaking mind.
Ow! 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 My balls! Oh, the other ones.
What's that saying? No pain, no gain? Well, you might not be gaining any more children after you're done here.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Did you hear that? I think Peter hurt his balls.
Now that's man's best friend right there. Even though Brian doesn't have his anymore, he knows situations like this can be serious.
What do you think happened to my voice, Doc?
Peter, I'm afraid you suffered something called Pendleton balls.
An affliction 1 in 5 men experience at least once in their lifetime. If you're wondering if it could ever affect me, well, don't think too hard about it. But church may be the perfect place to put his new voice to good use.
The body of Christ.
Thank you, Father.
Your voice! It's pristine!
And it just so happens they need another altar boy for the choir. Is altar man the more apt term? That just sounds like a superhero you'd find on public TV.
Who is the world's salvation?
But these old hymns aren't keeping people interested, so Peter throws in a little Bee Gees to wake them up. I've always said that church could use a little more disco.
When your bum goes numb from kneeling some, it's a tragedy.
But when Peter becomes a full-time choir singer, the other boys don't take too kindly to his butting in.
If you knew what was good for you, you'd quit right now.
I'm not quitting.
But you don't want to mess with choir boys. If they're willing to wear those funny little gowns, you best believe they're willing to do a lot more.
Hey, Peter, what did the kneeling apparatus say to the ankle?
Pew.
That was like a 3 out of 10. They should include a 10-minute section in the next service on church puns. Unsure of what to do, Peter finds a little guidance from the man who lives in the condo next to the big man upstairs.
I am here to help you with your problem.
You gonna help me win an Emmy?
Unfortunately, there are things even an act of God can't do.
I came here to make peace, and I brought someone with me who I think you'll listen to. Jesus Christ!
But even a visit from the Son of God doesn't get these brats to be better people. I think there's a very good chance they haven't read the book and don't even know who Jesus is.
Want to know what my favorite book of the Bible is? The Old Testament.
That's not how you say it.
And the Old Testament is a division, not a book? These kids definitely haven't read it. Fake fans.
Well, we're taking a new approach. You're gonna beat the crap out of them, and I'm gonna help you do it.
Well, if Jesus is cool with it, it must be okay. It's not every day you get to carry out an act of violence in the name of your God, except for all of human history. But even though Jesus is having Peter do chores around the church, they all serve a greater purpose.
Now show me, stow the hymnals. Yay! Yay! Yay!
See, unpaid labor is never truly unpaid. Sometimes it gives you the very niche ability to beat up children.
We told you to get lost, Griffin.
I did get lost. In the power of Christ.
So a full-on brawl breaks out between Peter and the altar boys, complete with thurible swinging and altar shattering.
Looks like someone learned how to fight.
Yeah, I got a whole Karate Kid thing.
Mr. Miyagi be with you, and also with you. The last standing altar boy gets the better of Peter, but Peter pulls out a sick crucifix kick to score the win. Peter did such a good job that even the church's big cross had to come down and give him a celebratory pat on the crotch.
Ow, my balls! Ow, my balls? Hey, my voice is back to normal.
Well, now he can't sing in the choir anymore, which means this whole fight didn't really matter. Still, you don't see a fist fight in church often. I bet attendance would skyrocket if it became a regular thing though. But Stewie probably hopes that killer turtles won't be a regular thing for him after he takes on a murderous reptile named Sheldon and Lois comes out of her shell. If only it could have been that little twerp. So when Lois is at the park with Stewie, she sees a bunch of other moms playing with their kids and decides to get in on the fun.
Here we go. Get ready for blast off. Ow, son of a...
Ah, just like how my mom used to play with me. All those drops probably explain my Family Guy hyperfixation.
What the deuce? Well, hello there. I say, you're a cute little fellow.
I bet Stewie always wanted a pet that looked 100 years old. Kinda fits his whole 1-year-old with the demeanor of a 50-year-old professor vibe.
I like you. I can tell we're going to be good friends.
So Stewie brings the reptile home and names him Sheldon, but things have already started to get odd.
Rupert, what happened to your eye? Brian, did you pull one of Rupert's eyes off?
No, why would I do that? Maybe your turtle did it.
Well, it's probably no big deal. When I remove someone's eyes, they usually scream, but Rupert isn't doing that. Hey, let's talk about something else now. Okay, so he's a little mischievous. Oh, so he's evil. And pretty soon, his actions start getting more dangerous.
Ah, paper cut! A razor blade? Who the hell uses a razor blade as a bookmark?
Someone who likes to shave while reading their children's books? What a silly question.
All right, very funny, Stewie.
What?
What do you mean, what? You replaced my Jack Daniels with flat Diet Coke.
Okay, that one isn't so bad. It's not the end of the world if Brian doesn't get his daily morning glass of whiskey.
But I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation for those things. Sometimes...
Must have been the wind. The scaly, four-legged, shelled-up wind. And as Sheldon begins to act stranger and stranger, Stewie realizes he may have brought a demon into the house.
Well, long as I'm up, I might as well go spit in Lois's mouth.
What's this turtle's deal anyway? All Stewie did was take him from his home, give him a new name, and parade him around like a toy.
Ah!
So Stewie says deuces to Sheldon by treating him like a deuce, sending him down into the sewer system. But he hasn't gotten his fill of blood quite yet. I don't mean this in a punny way, but I think he might have snapped.
Magnolia cupcakes. Rupert! Oh my god!
Yet another delivery order Uber Eats has messed up. Next door was supposed to get the severed head. But when Sheldon slowly returns in what probably felt like 100 years later, Stewie is prepared. Stewie mostly keeps the upper hand, but Sheldon manages to scurry off downstairs. Thank goodness no one's around to see him get outrun by a turtle.
Now batting, Stewie Griffin.
Wait a second, the shell is a part of the turtle's body and can't be removed. He must be some weird, lumpy lizard cosplaying as one.
Ugh, you look like a nude Larry David.
Well, turtle or no turtle, there's only one way to do away with a monster like this.
Oh my god, Super Mario! What are you doing here?
I jump on a turtle, Stewie.
Well, Stewie's saved by a crazy Italian man who may or may not just be going around jumping on every turtle he sees. I guess if Sheldon had a go-kart, he might have been spared. But Stewie couldn't afford to spare an evil clone of his that went on a murderous rampage throughout Quahog in the hand that rocks the wheelchair. So while Stewie's playing at the park, a bigger kid knocks over his sandcastle, leading him to handle things maturely.
Just get this little guy assembled.
Using a rifle that close to someone's face? Don't buy into the happy humming. Stewie is mad.
Alright, I think we're all set here.
Back when I was a kid, if your gun exploded on the playground, you could never show your face around there again. Brian chalks this failure up to the fact that Stewie has lost his edge.
I mean, when was the last time you tried to blow something up or take over the world or even use the phrase damn you?
He must just be growing and maturing. When you go from 1 year old to 1 year old, you start to look at the world differently, you know? Luckily, Stewie has a way to fix this.
So I've built a concentrated neural enhancement device designed to boost my evil side.
If you're looking to have hatred flow through your veins, you should just scroll through social media for 5 minutes. Always works for me. But after a spin in his new doohickey, Stewie doesn't feel all that more evil.
Sometimes you chase helicopters.
That's kind of lame.
Stewie may just not have the sauce anymore. But when the two leave the room, the machine does cook up a palette swap Stewie with murder in his eyes. And Brian doesn't have a clue.
What are you doing?
Ah!
See, regular Stewie probably would have asked where his money was first.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man?
Luckily, the mystery doesn't linger for too long, and Stewie's excited about what this could mean for him.
Evil Stewie, come with me. We're going to run a few tests on... Ah!
Yeah, Evil isn't just some quirky first name. This kid's as bad as it gets, and no one on Earth is safe.
Oh my god, a baby! Are you okay?
Well, that's terrifying. Next time I see a baby on the road, I'm just gonna keep on driving. Can't take any chances. What other despicable acts will he get up to next?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Now that's just unforgivable. So Stewie and Brian set up a trap for the evil clone in the park.
Well, this is a gift, Brian. Thank you for making it so easy.
Yeah, and never mind the fact that Brian is tied up for some reason. So the two Stewies fight and wrestle over the weapon, gradually pulling off one another's clothes. You know, under different circumstances, Stewie probably would have liked this. And in case this is your first time ever seeing a clone fight, they've just got to do the bit where the guy with the gun can't tell them apart.
Oh, come on, not this thing, really?
Sorry, Brian, but them's the rules. Thankfully, Brian knows just the way to tell them apart.
Look at your feet.
Why? They're just feet. What are they doing down there?
Childlike wonder wins again and evil Stewie is dead. Hopefully. Don't worry, it's just a Thriller reference. Evil Stewie can't hurt you. If you turn around now, he'll tell you the same thing. But Peter learns that the President of the United States can hurt you directly as Peter gets into a Capitol-destroying brawl with President Donald Trump and Trump Guy. So following up on a previous episode, Peter earns himself a job under the Trump White House.
Your main job here is to go in rooms before me to make sure there's no static electricity.
Sounds like a job only a New England alcoholic can handle. But at least the Griffins get to live the high life attending fancy White House parties.
We're glad you brought your 2 children and former Governor Chris Christie.
Well, I can't really see the resemblance, but maybe Christie is known to show up to these things in a poofy blue dress. But her luck is about to turn around as she runs into Ivanka Trump, who's just one big ball of sunshine.
Tell those kids, if they ever want to see their parents again, they'll make the shoes.
Ivanka takes pity on Meg and decides to help her show out at the White House party. Definitely a place where a teenager needs to be ogled at.
That girl is pretty.
So pretty by DC standards.
With Geico, you can save up to 15% on car insurance.
Hey, you tell that gecko if he wants an ad read in this video, he better start cutting me a check. But Meg's new look does land her a meeting with the president himself.
I'm a huge fan of your board game, and your beef products, and your fraudulent university, and...
Maybe he thought she was a dog and he was a judge at one of those fancy dog shows? If that's the case, then it's good to know a healthy dose of dementia is running the free world.
President Trump touched me inappropriately.
What?
Meg, that's my boss. All right, this is my career you're talking about.
And probably would explain a lot, honestly. A career that's lasted 1 day and doesn't even have an official title. You really expect him to throw away his dream of the past 48 hours? But Peter doesn't believe her and decides to keep working for Trump.
Well, if this lumpy orange garbage vegetable is here, then where's President Donald Trump?
He's busy going full Job of the Hutt mode, apparently. Thankfully, we're spared of Meg in that gold bikini.
Oh my God, President Trump is assaulting Meg! I can't believe what I just saw, Mr. President.
I'm choosing not to believe what I just saw because I'm trying not to vomit. You ever tried cleaning vomit out of the ocean? You can't. It just goes everywhere. But Trump hits Peter with a pretty meta question.
If Peter Griffin gets to be a jerk all the time, then why can't Donald Trump?
Well, I can't remember the last time Peter Griffin ever had the ability to incite a war or represent the entire country. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised if non-Americans thought all Americans looked and acted like Peter.
We're a cartoon. You can turn us off. You're the president. We can't turn you off.
Though people have tried. But Peter's words don't seem to affect Trump, so he has to hit him where it hurts the most. His wallet.
You are cash poor.
Well, Peter may as well have slapped one of his 3 wives he definitely knows the names of. So now Peter and Trump must have it out on the White House lawn.
Peter, catch! Kill him in front of me and I you.
The two make their way into the White House, managing to blow through the nation's nuclear weapons and Diet Coke budget in a matter of seconds. See, there would be world peace if you just drank Diet Pepsi. Haven't you seen that Kendall Jenner commercial? No one can fight when they're drinking Pepsi. The two take their battle all the way to Congress, where both sides of the political parties get in on the action. Aw, glad to see the people in charge of our laws and lives are having fun. The two borrow some planes from the Air and Space Museum, which they almost immediately crash, sending them tumbling onto the Washington Monument.
Peter! Grab my hand!
Finally, some decorum in this fight. But both are sent falling, only to be saved by their northern neighbor, Canada.
Justin Trudeau, the hunky Prime Minister of Canada?
He's not that hunky.
Oh, Peter wants to be animated by Teletoon so badly. Thanks to Trudeau's help, Peter and Trump finally stop their fighting.
He touched my daughter, but I punched him like 100 times, so we're fine now.
If there's one thing to take away from this fight, it's that we should see more world leaders solve their problems with fisticuffs. Hopefully a few blows to the head will make him realize just how silly politics can be. But some problems can't be solved, as Stewie found out when he fought the love of his life, Penelope, in order to keep her from killing Brian in Mr. and Mrs. Stewie. So when Stewie goes to play at the park, he finds that not everybody wants to play nice.
Excuse me, I didn't bring any of my toys. Can I play with some of yours?
No! Mine!
The sandbox is a lawless land. It's either eat or be eaten, and it looks like Stewie's gonna starve.
My name's Penelope. What's yours?
Stewie. I've never seen you around here before.
Well, well, well. I'd know that voice anywhere. Cate Blanchett, love of my life, we meet again. Anyway, Penelope's just moved into town and is looking to make a friend, so she offers to share her toys with Stewie.
I have a set of jacks, a paddleball, and this taffy with super glue. Isn't that the little boy who pushed you?
I don't think the first thing most little kids who are new in town look to do is add to their kill counts, but Penelope isn't like most kids.
Would you like a piece of candy?
He was probably too young to get the don't accept candy from strangers talk. Then again, you don't usually expect the perp to be another kid.
Don't push.
You tell that corpse, Stewie. So Stewie has another play date with Penelope and finds that they have a lot in common other than being a child and talking with a British accent.
What's this on your Etch-a-Sketch?
Oh, those are some advanced mathematical formulas I've just been tinkering with.
I don't trust anyone who just does equations in their free time. I left that stuff in school and I plan to keep it there. But their similarities don't stop there, as Penelope also has a weapons cache.
You've got a weapons room too? And look at the size of it, it's amazing!
Yeah, but it isn't the size of the weapons room that matters, it's the... Actually, this might be one of those times where bigger is better. Stewie questions if her parents are an issue, but Penelope's mom isn't in the picture, by Penelope's choice.
Did you kill her?
Well, I held the knife. And her hair.
Suddenly, Stewie looks softer than a fabric-softened cloud. All these years of wanting to kill Lois, and Penelope just takes her mom out like she's trash.
I feel like I may have finally found, in you, my one true soulmate.
First comes love, then comes marriage, and then comes worldwide acts of terror and destruction perpetrated by toddlers.
We blew up the Great Wall of China, bombed the Eiffel Tower, and look at this note I sent off. Dear Pakistan, up yours.
Sure, bombs and explosions hurt, but mean words hurt even more. They even make a game out of their acts of violence. But of course, Brian is out to ruin the fun.
It's you and Penelope who've been doing all these horrible things.
So, I've always been about world domination.
That was so 5 seasons ago. Now it's all about time machines and cross-dressing with you.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying she's a bad influence on you and you should stop spending time with her.
But Penelope does not take kindly to Brian interfering in their relationship.
Swear on that love that you'll do what I ask.
Just name it.
Kill him.
I think she heard the phrase cutting someone out of your life and maybe took it a bit too literally. But when Stewie can't bring himself to kill his best friend, Penelope takes matters into her own tiny hands.
It appears I'll have to kill him myself.
What?
I knew you were too weak to do this.
Ouch. Remember what I said about words hurting worse than bombs? But something tells me Penelope has a little more than a few harsh words in store for Brian.
I've got a package here for Brian Griffin.
Oh, that's me.
Brian, no!
Dang it, Stewie, you just wasted his brand new bomb. But Penelope rolls up to finish the job.
Stewie, she's 1 year old. I think I can handle this myself.
Did you just forget about that mail bomb from a minute ago? I know dogs have short memory spans, but come on. So Stewie and Penelope have a high-tech shootout complete with lasers, shrink rays, and bubbles. These are children after all.
Anti-gravity gun! This is beyond my technology.
And said gun ends up taking them across town and onto the back of a truck where the two fight hand-to-hand and knife shoe to knife shoe. I'm always so impressed by the athleticism of someone whose head makes up half their body. The two exchange a few more blows, but Stewie ends up getting the upper hand.
Stay away from my dog.
Very well, Stewie, I shall.
And with a kiss, they part ways forever. Normally, you've got to be part of some underground daycare fight club ring to see children go at it, but Family Guy gives it to you for free without the fear of going to jail. But when the fight between two children could mean the end of all existence, things got very serious as Stewie went to war with his half-brother Bertram in Renaissance-era Italy in The Big Bang Theory. So Stewie's looking to upgrade his time machine and needs some plutonium from the farmer's market to do it.
Plutonium at the farmer's market?
Yep, I'm only using organic plutonium now.
What an Earth-conscious guy. This is your friendly reminder to buy your plutonium from mom and pop stores when you have the chance. So Stewie stops by Yusuf's, a man who happens to be bountiful in plutonium and jokes.
I'm just a little upset because she left me. I guess she didn't know what she had.
What a fun guy. It almost makes me forget he's probably using that plutonium for nefarious purposes. Almost. Unfortunately, Stewie's talked about his purposes a bit too loudly.
So, Stewie Griffin invented a time machine.
Later that night, Bertram sneaks into Stewie's room but gets caught in the act.
Hello, Stewie. You don't realize it yet, but your life is about to cease to exist.
Bertram plans to go back in time and kill one of Stewie's ancestors so that he'll have never been born. You know what probably would have been a quicker and more efficient plan? Killing him now. You literally snuck into his room. You could have done away with him and put this whole thing to bed while he was in bed.
Here, play with this. At least you can spend your final moments doing something you enjoy.
Oh, come on. Stewie can't be dumb enough to... Oh, nope, he's playing with it. Having a genius brain that's also a baby's brain must be a hard thing to juggle. So Bertram teleports away, and the universe almost immediately begins to collapse.
He must have succeeded, thereby changing the past and erasing... me.
Oh yeah, earlier in the episode, Stewie and Brian traveled outside the space-time continuum, and when they teleported back to the future, the resulting explosion technically created the Big Bang, which created the universe. Felt like a pretty important piece of info to mention.
Bertram didn't know that by removing me from history, I wouldn't be there to be accidentally thrown outside the universe and subsequently created.
See, this is why you should never hold a grudge against someone. You never know when someone is cosmically linked to the creation of the universe.
Now we'll have to travel back in time to a point shortly before Bertram's arrival.
Which just so happens to be a very important time in history.
Where do you think we are?
I don't know. Looks like the Renaissance.
Only it wasn't called the Renaissance era back then. They just called it the do weird stuff and hope people centuries from now appreciate it era.
We must be in Leonardo da Vinci's studio.
Not only that, but he's the ancestor of Stewie's who Bertram seeks to kill. Man, history did not capture that head shape of his well.
So that means you're Italian.
Of course, my love for SpaghettiOs and smoking on the toilet.
Hey, fantastico! Still doesn't really explain the British thing, though.
Bertram had to go back enough generations to make sure he was snuffing out the ancestral source of my genius.
Guess that explains why he couldn't just give Peter the old snip before Stewie was born. So not only is genius genetic, it also apparently skips several dozen generations. Does this mean killing Da Vinci would also do away with Bertram's genius? Who cares? I think he just really wants to kill the guy.
Who are you, a little lisping baby?
You're assassin, you overrated caricaturist!
Luckily, Stewie dives in before he can murder the creator of the Vitruvian Man. I don't want to live in a world without that guy and his big wheel. So the toddlers take to the sky with two of Da Vinci's flying machines, though I fail to remember seeing rockets on those blueprints. They take chase through Italy, and my god, that motion blur is close to giving me a seizure. Luckily for us, they take things to the street where Bertram has Da Vinci cornered.
You're about to be yesterday's hopscotch chalk on a sidewalk, Stewie! Erased!
Look, Bertram's genius comes from his inventing, not his ability to come up with great metaphors. Stewie tries to explain what will happen to the universe if he dies.
So if you kill me, you're killing yourself and everything else that ever existed or will exist!
Worth it!
And he actually kills Da Vinci. There's being a hater, then there's being a hater so big that you destroy the fabric of reality just to give your enemy the finger. But before Bertram can permanently end Stewie himself, Stewie gets a hold of his crossbow and gives Bertram one last joke.
What's your favorite kind of bottled water? Mine's Arrowhead.
That probably goes so hard if you actually drink that stuff. San Pellegrino for life, son. So Bertram is dead, and Stewie finds a way to save the universe by taking Da Vinci's place. Even though Bertram only appeared in 3 episodes, he was ready to throw hands in every single one, and for that, he earned my respect. But all respect flew out the window when Peter and Homer finally came to blows to decide who was the greatest cartoon dad in the Simpsons Guy. So after years and years of build-up and poking fun at each other, Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson finally meet.
I think you and I are gonna get along just okay.
Don't want to spoil it for you, but, well, you saw the title of the video. But the two get along great at first, with Peter even offering Homer a gift.
I got a little something for you. Here you go. Pawtucket Patriot Ale. The best Quahog has to offer.
Go ahead, give it a try, Homer. I'm sure Peter's up for any and all thoughts on his favorite thing in the world.
It's not good. This beer tastes exactly like Duff. It's just a lousy ripoff.
To be fair, I'm sure most people would tell you that almost all beer tastes exactly the same. But Peter attests that his beer isn't a ripoff, but more of an homage that takes a pre-established idea and puts its own spin on it. Sound familiar?
Your livelihood is based on fraud. Look at this. Huh?
Well, this can only mean one thing. A lowly office worker like Peter needs to be sued to the high heavens.
And you, sir, as a representative of Pawtucket Patriot Ale, are being sued for intellectual theft.
Wait a second. Has anyone ever noticed that The Simpsons and Family Guy have some similarities between them? But it seems like the entire town of Quahog is brought into the trial, making that place one big lawsuit waiting to happen.
Several other Duff variations, packages, and design elements have been similarly infringed.
My mistake, I forgot The Simpsons were the first to invent having a doctor character on a show. But I guess we'll let the real innovator make the final decision.
And I find in favor of Duff.
Yeah, well, what do you know, Flintstone? At least neither of them is promoting smoking like you. Well, now the Griffins need to return home and find Peter a new job. He's gonna make sure he leaves with all of his feelings made clear.
I am over the Simpsons.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying the Simpsons suck.
You and everyone else whenever the Simpsons win an Emmy. So the two cartoon dads begin their brutal fight with a bit of punching and light choking.
What the hell? That really hurts.
No, it doesn't. I do it to my son all the time.
At least Peter's never copied that. He's just shot Meg at least once. They resume their fight, taking their battle onto a moving school bus.
Hey, knock it off! There's a kid back there!
I'm in danger!
Believe it or not, Ralph getting flung from a window is getting off easy. Peter and Homer then barrel into the nuclear power plant, making their way to Homer's workstation and his closet of middle fingers to Family Guy.
Hey, that's no fair. I don't got none of them.
Well, with a meltdown in progress, you might not actually get a chance to win one again. So the two fall into nuclear waste, but thankfully, this is a universe where that gives you superpowers rather than the worst cancer known to man. Well, at least they found a cure for that yellow skin, just melt it off. The two irradiated freaks continue to fight, but it's not just us who are having a great time watching.
The Earthlings are destroying themselves.
Yeah, it's really great, isn't it, guys?
Sorry, Roger. American Dad will have to wait another 15 years for their crossover episode. But Peter and Homer wreck the UFO, lose their powers, and send the saucer crashing straight into Earth. At least certain death isn't getting in the way of them beating the crap out of each other. When they make it to the ground, they continue to brutally beat one another. Homer seems to gain the upper hand, but Peter has gravity on his side.
Say hi to Muriel Goldman.
Who?
Well, looks like Muriel is Peter's guardian angel. Kinda lame. You think he can trade for a new one? But don't worry, Homer isn't dead, just a little banged up.
I'm sorry we fought. I just wanted to make you laugh and cry. You see, I'm a family guy.
Does anyone own the copyright on that? Sounds like a good name for a show. The two icons resolve their differences and leave on amicable terms even though they nearly killed one another. Despite being similar to each other, there's only one similarity that really matters. They're both 1,000 times better than Brickleberry. But if we've got to pick the greatest Family Guy battle, then we have to go with one of Peter's many fights with Ernie the Giant Chicken from the episode Internal Affairs. So we could have picked a number of Peter's fights with Ernie, from their original fight all the way back in Season 2's Da Boom,
You son of a...
to their second encounter in Season 4's Blind Ambition, and their battle played in reverse in Season 11's Yug Yulamath is certainly hard to top. But if we had to pick just one, my money's on the one in Season 10's Internal Affairs. So that battle's kicked off when Peter's leaving the clam and accidentally backs up into another car.
Oh God, buddy, I'm sorry. You okay?
Honestly, I respect the relationship these two have. It's always on sight with these two, which is how you can tell they really care about one another. So the two crash the ice cream truck and continue their fight on foot, but they're about to take it from the streets to the streets of the past.
Well, now I've seen Woodrow Wilson naked.
Sorry, Stewie, looks like that's your one line this episode. With the two on the time pad, their scuffle is teleported back to the Wild West. Good thing Marty McFly was there to bring him back to the future. Happy to not see him kissing his mom for a change. The two brawl their way into a scientific research center, stumbling into a cloning machine that makes a whole swarm of chickens and Peters. Stewie needs to step his game up. Even he wasn't capable of this. And they eventually land themselves right into a rocket ready to take off. At least their space is problem now. Unfortunately for Quahog, their zero-gravity battle doesn't last too long as their rocket comes hurling towards an oil rig. I guess now they're the ocean's problem? Wait, that's my problem! No water breaks, no cooldowns, no nothing. They aren't gonna stop until every last feather has been plucked and every bit of surrounding infrastructure has been leveled. But before Peter is done in, he manages to toss Ernie off the crane, leaving him hanging, then impaled like a chicken shish kebab and deep fried by some rocket flames. Dang, anyone else hungry now? After a long, hard-fought battle, Peter is finally done away with the giant chicken for good. Or has he? As we covered in our One Fact for Every Family Guy character video, this was supposed to be the final chicken fight, but Seth MacFarlane was persuaded to keep the chicken alive so he could return in the eventual Family Guy movie. You know, that thing that's totally gonna happen any day now? At over 5 minutes long, this is one of their most grueling battles and one of the best fights in Family Guy history. And if you want to see more of the best that Family Guy has to offer, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more Family Guy videos like the ones on your screen right now.